It's Monday, January the 29th, 2018, and this is your Monday Barbados Today evening news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Our top story at this hour: there's little relief in sight for commuters hard hit by chronic bus shortages. In a statement today, the Transport Board apologized but cautioned that the challenges were likely to continue in the coming weeks. The board explained that a number of these buses are currently undergoing inspection at the licensing authority, but the process has been affected because the hoist at the Ministry of Transport and Works has been out of commission for more than a year. The board says it has been working with the Ministry of Transport and Works to find alternative locations to have inspection, but this too is being hampered by the unavailability of the equipment. The board is appealing to members of the traveling public to be patient as it seeks to improve the situation. Meanwhile, Transport Minister Michael Lashley says he's prepared to use the privately owned public service vehicles to ensure students can make it to school on time. His comments come just days after several students were left stranded at the Grantley Adams Memorial School until 8 p.m. one day last week. Speaking at the DLP St. George South Branch meeting at the Ellerton Primary School last evening, Lashley said his ministry was taking action to ensure such an incident will not happen again.
And I want to say that only on Thursday, private owners came forward to us. In fact, they sent requests that they are willing to participate in the moving of school children in due course. What we have to do, we have to consult with them further, meet with them, make sure that we have the requisite terms and conditions in place. And of course, that there are certain conditions, let me stress conditions, because we don't want to move them from an environment back into the same environment that we've had before. But it's something worth looking at, and I've said to the private sector people, you all have made an outstanding contribution to public transport in Barbados. I said to them that your plea of duty-free concessions, we will also take a look at it. They actually sent their document to us, but I personally believe that we can look at duty-free concessions, but with certain conditionalities attached thereto. That is my view.
The issue was also a major talking point on the political platform of the opposition Barbados Labour Party. St. Joseph MP and former Attorney General Dale Marshall not only expressed concern about the students' plight, but he lamented that his constituents are often subjected to poor bus service.
Do you know that on Monday morning, Transport Board only had 62 buses on the road to cover the entire of this country? 62 buses on the road. They have not bought a bus since they have not bought any. The last buses were bought when the Barbados Labour Party was in government. So if you are one of the lucky people in St. Lucie to have a job, we're going to finish this meeting a little early so you can start walking, because you can be sure there ain't a bus to carry you to work tomorrow. And the people in St. Joseph get no bus.
Transport woes are not the only issues facing Barbadians. According to opposition MP Kerry Simmons, more than 50,000 Barbadians are waiting on the National Housing Corporation for housing and lands, and the Minister in charge of Housing, Dennis Kelman, appears not to be listening.
At the National Housing Corporation, which he presides over, tonight there's a list of people waiting for access to or opportunity to buy a piece of land going through the national housing, because they don't have the wherewithal financially to go on the open market, so they want the subsidized assistance of the government of Barbados. 17,000 Barbadians on that list. On the list of people who are waiting for a house, or a land, give a unit, a house, somewhere they can have shelter. The basic, what they call the ontological needs of man. You must have shelter. You must have food. You must have clothing. One of the fundamental needs is shelter. 40,000 Barbadians are on a list.
In other news now, the numbers are in, and Barbados recorded an increase in long-stay visitors and cruise ship passengers last year. Tourism and International Transport Minister Richard Seeley said the number of long-stay visitors recorded exceeded the initial target of 650,000. He said this was a big boost for the Barbados economy.
We were expecting about 650,000 long-stay visitors, and we actually are at 660. So we have gone past our target in a very positive way. And we are also satisfied that with the strategy of increased airlift, of increasing room stock, of improving our product offering, developing more and better and newer events, that we can continue to see these numbers grow, and more importantly, that the economic impact will also grow, thus seeing improved economic opportunity for this island, and of course, more importantly, improved quality of life for all of our citizens.
The minister was speaking as he announced the introduction of a new flight from Copa Airlines out of Panama City, which is scheduled to commence on July the 17th.
The government has been embarking actively on diversifying our source markets, and the Latin American region, of course, has received attention from this government. We had the Gulf flight out of Sao Paulo. We had the Avianca flight out of Bogota, Colombia, both of which were suspended for different reasons. And this partnership, COPA, allows us not only to have more business or get business from Colombia and Brazil, but also the rest of Latin America. And it is a very strong player in that market.
The minister said negotiations have been taking place with COPA for several years, and from today, people will be able to visit COPA's website and book flights to Barbados. The airline is expected to have 2 weekly flights to the island.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. Barbadian Queen's Counsel Andrew Pilgrim is leading the defense in a high-profile case involving Vincential former model Oogie Farrell, accused of using abusive language at the wife of Finance Minister Camila Gonzalez. The case was heard again today, and the 23-year-old was granted $1,000 EC bail with one surety after being hospitalized at the mental health center for the last 3 weeks. Back on January 5th, Magistrate Bertie Pompey ordered Farrell to undergo 2 weeks of psychiatric evaluation at the mental health center. Now, the prosecution made the application for psychiatric evaluation after Farrell pleaded not guilty to the charge. Pompey's decision to grant the prosecution's request in the absence of any supporting argument has led to widespread debate about the functioning of the judiciary in St. Vincent. Now, since her hospitalization, Farrell has made a number of allegations, including that she had been in a relationship with the 44-year-old finance minister that ended in 2016. The finance minister has remained mum about allegations, and Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonzalez has said that he has advised the minister, who is also his son, to delay comment and maintain a dignified silence. On the international scene, the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, whom U.S. President Donald Trump repeatedly accused of political bias, has resigned. His exit from the top law enforcement agency comes a week after a report that Mr. Trump wanted him out. Now, McCabe was a central target of President Trump's ire toward the FBI over its involvement in the investigations into potential collusion between his campaign and Russia during the 2016 election. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said Trump was not part of McCabe's choice to step down.
Look, we've seen the numerous reports, as all of you have, and any specifics, I can tell you none of this decision was made by that of the White House, and any specifics I would refer you to the FBI, who I believe will be making a statement later today.
You say that the White House was not involved in the decision, but clearly the president seemed to be involved in a public relations campaign against McCabe.
Oh, look, the president stands by his previous comments, but in terms of the situation today, as I just said, we've seen the reports just as all of you have. We don't have any specific comments, and I would refer you to the FBI for any specifics on the things that are taking place today.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media Inbox terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic evening.